Welcome back, everybody, to our next ES Prime Dota 2 Cup of today. I'm Gods, and joining me, hopefully, is Vikramond. How are you doing, Vic?
Doing great, Gods. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I've had a much later start today. I didn't have to get up nice and early to cast Ace Dota 2 League, so I'm feeling
Right.
like pretty awake for once, casting at a normal hour. It's weird.
Not the 3
10
a.m. to
seconds
3 a.m.
remaining.
days.
Yeah, but we're here in the ES Prime Dota 2 Cup where we've got 8 teams,
5
two of which are
seconds
already
remaining.
eliminated. Yesterday we saw Menace eliminated. Today we've already had the SSD, the Super Strong Dinosaurs, get eliminated.
Reserve
So
time.
we're on to our next two quarterfinals, which is Stay Free up against For Sweet Revenge. Stay Free, a last minute replacement for Dignitas. Only found out about this an hour or so ago. And then our last match in the quarterfinals is going to be EG up against KD, or KD, a Brazilian team who made it through the qualifiers.
Interesting. I don't know much about KD. I do know a little bit about these two teams. So these are actually two really cool teams. Not super well
Radiant
known
team
yet.
pick.
For Sweet Revenge, I feel like they'd be more well known if they stopped changing their name.
Yes.
They were, of course, called Arctic for a long time. They had a couple other different names, but this is a team that's been around, and they have pretty variant performance, I feel. But at their best, I mean, they've beaten Navi, not in a
Yes.
series, but they've taken games off them.
I have some great memories casting this team. Back in the first We Play Dota 2 season, they beat
Mhm.
Navi. In the most recent We
10
Play Dota 2
seconds
season, they've
remaining.
beaten Alliance. So
Right.
they're a team who just somehow like
5
match up
seconds
really well
remaining.
against these top tier
Yeah.
like teams. And I don't
I mean,
know.
their fundamentals are really good. Smash is a very
Reserve
excellent mid player. He's really really good. Like
Yeah.
he's one of maybe out of all the South American players I've seen, he's maybe like the highest
Dire
performing
team
one
back.
overall. And then Iwo, their carry, is also has
Dire
really really
team
strong just
back.
farming fundamentals. He has a good Phantom Lancer. His gyrocopter is solid. But Stay Free are no slouches either. This is a team that's
Radiant
really not
team
known
back.
unless you followed the multiplayer online battle arena game Heroes of the New Earth. But they were very very top tier there,
Yeah.
and a lot of them have been playing like NEL. So if you watch NEL, you've seen all these players.
Yeah, and also if you follow the
10
MLG North
seconds
American League,
remaining.
Stay Free, one of the teams who qualified for the Full Sail LAN tournament, unfortunately not
5
attending it as
seconds
they had a
remaining.
couple players from Europe. Not to say they weren't allowed to; it was more the fact that they couldn't actually get the players from Europe over
Reserve
to the
time.
event. So
Oh, that's too bad. They
yeah.
were really good in MLG. I felt that they had a pretty good shot at it.
Yes, they definitely were looking at like a top. I mean, I think all the three or four teams going there were going to have like a decent shot at the second place, and even some of them to maybe beat Dignitas. But
Right. Of
as
course,
it is here,
Peter Pandam on Stay Free was briefly on
yes.
Dignitas as well. So
Yeah, well, he's back on this team. Like you mentioned, these players do play in the NEL a lot. Speaking of which, big thanks to our sponsors for the tournament, the ES Prime Dota 2 Cup, which is the NEL as well as IXDL. So for those of you out there, if you want to
Radiant
play like
team
in an in-house scenario, play some actual organized Captain's Mode games, check out IXDL.net. There's an open league. And then as you work your way up, you can get vouched into the NEL, which is like the Invite Prestigious League, where they have prizes as well as regular 1v1 tournaments and all kinds of other competitions to play in. It's
Yeah.
sort of like a
10
great
seconds
breeding ground for the
remaining.
North American seed.
it really is. It's really good. I've gotten a chance to cast some of the games in the NEL. Some of them are pretty clowny. Some of them are really really quite good. And yeah, you get to play with some of the best players in North America. There are even some Euros and some other scene players that drop by from time to time. I know Febi, the Korean player for FXO, plays quite a bit of
Dire
NEL.
team
So yeah, that's definitely an opportunity people have. And this tournament's pretty cool too. I feel like ESP hasn't maybe gotten all the promotion that it deserves because a lot of people don't really know about it. But you can check out the ticket. It just this week got a really cool Chaos Knight set attached to it, I believe. There's like a
Yes.
bundle.
There's I think it's a $12 bundle for the Chaos Knight set as well as the tournament ticket. So if you like the Chaos Knight set, definitely worth it. If you don't like the Chaos Knight set, there's also an option which
10
is
seconds
just a
remaining.
standalone ticket. So both are
Yeah,
there. Just a
I
3-day
bought
cup
that.
though. I guess that's where
5
it's like it's only
seconds
just started
remaining.
yesterday. Today and tomorrow are the two big days. Today we've got three quarterfinals and one semifinal.
Reserve
Tomorrow's the
time.
semifinal and grand final. And it's all done. So it's a very small condensed tournament, which is great. It brings a lot more excitement and a lot much more like cutthroat environment when if one loss and you're out.
Yeah, it's not like a tournament that occurs over 6 months where it's like, we lost a few games. Who cares? We'll
Yeah.
turn it up 3 months from now.
Yeah.
Here, it's teams will just drop like flies, and we're going to see one eliminated, I guess, right from this best of one.
Yes, we are going to. Let's talk about the draft bit here. We have
Yeah.
Stay Free over on the Dire side. They actually got themselves a first pick Elder Titan, it looks like. For Sweet Revenge playing over on the Radiant team, they got a very early Abaddon pick, Gyrocopter Dragon Knight. Not really like your common response for the Elder Titan,
Yeah.
it feels like.
And it's interesting that nobody has even bothered with IO, which is
Yes.
something we very rarely see outside of the like Chinese scene. Occasionally, teams just don't like playing IO, so we don't see it picked. But neither picked nor banned here. Of course, Elder Titan. I'm just shocked that this hero still gets through. To me, he's easily qualified. I personally, I think he's actually stronger than any of the other first ban, first pickable heroes, but it's definitely close.
Yeah, I think he's maybe like like you could maybe consider like the situations where you want to pick Naga over him. If you're like got a really good
I
whiz, maybe
guess.
pick him. But I think yeah, in general, like Elder Titan fits so easily into any draft. And
Yeah,
I guess the
you could
main
play
thing is
him.
like teams don't often draft their solo mid early on in the draft. Generally, they're picking the
Sure,
solo mid in like the third or fourth spot. But
true.
for Elder Titan to actually get first pick goes to show
10
how strong
seconds
he is in that
remaining.
solo mid role.
Yeah, that's a great point. Although, of course, Elder Titan doesn't. He's
5
playable in so
seconds
many
remaining.
different positions that even if you draft him first, you can always,
Yeah.
like Navi or like one of the other teams that runs him in multiple positions,
Dire
switch him
team
later.
ban.
Stay free here, however. You're absolutely right, guys. They're going to run him in the two role, in the mid role. Most likely with, well, actually, I don't know. I guess they could run Clock mid and Elder Titan off lane, but the most likely arrangement I feel is Weaver as the carry, Clockwork as the off laner, and Elder Titan as the mid.
Yeah.
Whereas for Arctic, it's looking right now more like a DK mid, and then they have their tri lane and they're searching for an off laner for Mihawk. Lots of off laners taken out, actually. He might just go for his Nature's Prophet that he plays pretty often.
10
Okay,
seconds
well,
remaining.
for Sweet Revenge, don't have much time left here. It's always, like, for this team, I feel a lot of
5
it
seconds
relies around
remaining.
Smash in that mid lane. He's going to be handling a Dragon Knight, which isn't really the best, I guess, tempo controller in some ways,
Reserve
but
time.
I think he does sort of play better on some of these kind of semi-carry-esque kind of solo mid heroes.
Yeah. I actually agree with you. I don't know how much I love a Dragon Knight for Smash. He dictates, like, he creates so much pace for Sweet Revenge, I feel. Like, he's always going out there and generating kills on something like a Batrider or a TA. That's really hard to do on DK unless you just get rock solid farm and get that early Shadow Blade. If you do, yeah, you can make things happen. They actually go for Doom, so
Dire
perhaps
team
sacrificing the offlane.
Yeah, none of these heroes really get up the offlane. The other option they have is to go offensive tri-lane with like a Rubik, Gyrocopter, Abaddon, put Doom as a safe lane
Sure.
solo.
Yeah, they
He,
could do that.
he can do okay in a 1v1 matchup, or they just have no one go offlane and Doom straight up jungle here.
Yeah. I mean, Doom is a pretty strong pick. I feel. I mean, they're going to be probably dooming Elder Titan, maybe Weaver before he earns his Lincoln Sphere. But in general, one of the few I think reasonable answers to Elder Titan is just to silence him for 16 seconds and hope for the best. So, Doom's certainly very good at doing that. What do you think about this Razor pickup for Stay Free? Very greedy draft, I feel.
Yeah, it looks like they may be running an offensive tri-lane themselves. PPD is going to be playing a support Elder Titan. I guess you don't really
Yeah.
want an offensive tri-lane with the Elder Titan, but Corey generally playing the hard carry role, so
Mhm.
I'd be surprised if it's an offlane
10
Weaver, but I
seconds
guess it's
remaining.
possible. I think it's going to be the solo mid Razor with Clockwork in the offlane.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, that's what it's looking like right now, and certainly Peter Pandem. It's rare that we see him not playing support, so this is definitely a support Elder Titan.
Yeah.
And I do think that that's one of the great things about Elder Titan is you draft him first, and then maybe by your fifth pick you decide where you want him to lane, because regardless of where he lanes, he's top 5 hero material. Of course, I think this could be an offensive tri lane. Crystal Maiden's a hero who I feel can really generate those early kill opportunities. If they do find a 3v3 opportunity, Elder Titan, I feel, does excel there because he has that maneuverable Keeper of the Light nuke, so he can just constantly be smacking people in the face with Astral Spirit. I don't know. I think this Stay Free lineup has some potential. Arctic's Revenges is pretty good too.
Yeah, the Clockwork offlane always great on the dire side because you're guaranteed some farm and experience with the little cogs into trees trick that you can do. And then I think all of their lanes just all around solid. I guess there is the chance for a tri-lane versus tri-lane with a CM Weaver Elder Titan going up against the Rubik Abaddon Gyrocopter, but I think Stay Free will be perfectly happy with that matchup, and that means their Doom
For
gets that means their Clockwork gets a 1v1 against Doom, which for Clockwork, until Doom hits level 6, he does fantastic in, because Battery Assault,
Yeah.
you get if you want to max that out first, it does a lot of damage in melee
Yeah.
range.
Even just cogs, if you edge the Doom or you bump the Doom, somebody
Yeah.
gave me this terminology the other day and I'm so happy with it. If you just constantly bump Doom and he isn't able to chain Devour on every cooldown, that actually puts a crimp in his early like pseudo Midas that he gets off that ability.
He's got a tiny mana pool. I don't know what hero has the lowest mana pool in the game, but I reckon Doom is maybe up there.
She's got to be down there.
Yeah.
169, base 13 intelligence. Pretty
Yeah.
miserable.
Oh, that is, yeah, absolutely atrocious. So we'll introduce our two teams quickly. Over on the dire side is Team Stay Free, the American/European mix here. We're going to have Corey playing the Weaver, the carry play for the team. Tralfy Poo, or Tralf, playing the Crystal Maiden. We've got Enzo on the Razor, probably in the middle lane. PPD, Peter Pandan, playing the Elder Titan. Looks to be a support hero. Then finally, it's Michael Bublé, also known as Zai, who's going to be on the off-lane Clockwork.
Yeah, and looking up towards the Radiant team, For Sweet Revenge, aka Arctic, aka a million other names, but we'll call them For Sweet Revenge this game. It will be a tri-lane. We'll have to see where the tri-lane will go. We don't know yet, but either on the top lane or the bottom lane. Iwo on the Gyrocopter, Mystico, the team captain, on the Abaddon, and it looks like a stand-in inside on the Rubik. That leaves Smash to go up in the middle as Dragon Knight, and Mihawk to either be in jungle or solo safe as the Doombringer.
Okay. Do you think they're better off just putting Doom jungle and going safe lane tri-lane, or do you think they should go for that offensive tri-lane and give Doom the 1v1?
I kind of like the plan of aggressive tri-lane, safe lane Doom a little bit more. Although the Doom Clockwork matchup is one that I don't find especially fun either. So, I feel like they should have a little bit of an advantage in the try versus try. So if they know where Stay Free, or they guess properly where Stay Free are sending the tri-lane, and they can set up that 3 versus 3, I actually slightly favor Rubik, Gyro, Abaddon, because I feel like with the Abaddon shield, you just don't really have enough tools to deal with Gyrocopter. Yeah. But if they don't know or they're not confident, then they should definitely just have the Doom jungle, because it'll be an easier time for him, and it'll be a lot of safe time for Gyro.
Yeah, definitely if they're not confident, I agree, they shouldn't go for the offensive tri-lane, because there's potentially, like, every lane of theirs will be in a slight disadvantage with an offensive tri-lane. Doom, slightly weak against Clockwork. The offensive tri-lane can just get beat by pulls and just, like, constantly pulling, and then you've got your solo mid matchup, which is a DK versus a Razor, so I think if they offensive tri-lane, potentially they lose all 3 lanes, which is very risky, and it looks like they are just going to go for a safe lane tri-lane.
Yeah, I think this is a sensible decision. I did look it up, by the way. He's tied. Doom is tied for the worst mana pool in the game, with Troll, PA, Lone Druid, and Skeleton King. So august company for Doom.
Yeah.
Looks like a 5v5 to start out, maybe, because they're just running right in. Zai in the forefront on this Clockwork, Peter Pan down here too. Unfortunately, they have no gap closing, so Smash is going to eat 1 hit of the Astral Spirit, but I just don't really see how they chase other than that. And it looks like Stay Free might just back off. They won't even get wards.
Neither team has a real setup to actually take this fight. Rubik, I guess, the best with the telekinesis, but Stay Free are going to back off. Crystal Maiden did go for the Crystal Nova level 1, so it didn't even have a single target lockdown, preferring for the AoE damage, but looks like Stay Free are going to back off, send their tri-lane towards top, have Clockwork stay in the off lane. Very expected and coming out from Stay Free.
Yeah, I think this is not too surprising. They do get 1 ward. I think this blocks this camp here. So that's something at least. It's not the greatest ward, but the vision, especially for ganks coming from the 2 For Sweet Revenge supports into mid, potentially, if they don't go through the river, this ward will spot it out. So it's helpful in that respect. It'll give you some idea where people are going. But it's not really going to hold down Doom's jungling that much, I feel. It'll hurt, but not tremendously.
Yeah, he still has this big camp on the left, so if he stacks this and gets lucky with a Wildkin, he still can get that very, very fast jungle Doom farm.
Yeah.
Elder Titan's actually harassing the mid lane with an Astral Spirit. It's because he's got this regen rune, so it looks like he's going to throw 2 Astrals and then pick up the regen rune, although he is going to get scouted out by a Rubik. Rubik? Oh. PPD not actually seeing the Rubik right away. Does then afterwards.
Tree vision blocking there. He'll still get the regen though, and this is great for Elder Titan. He got some completely free harassment.
Yep. Yeah, he gets the free harass before going top, and he wasn't even really needed top because there's an empty lane. CM's already doing the pulling, so that's a good little start here to help out mid lane. Smash already chewing through a lot of regen here, and did he salve up as well, Smash?
I believe. I don't think he started with a salve. I think he's just going straight for the bottle early. Dragon Knight's a hero who wants bottle earlier than almost any other hero in the game, I feel, when he's running mid.
Yeah, so it looks like, he's only just used the 1 tango, so the harass didn't really hurt him too much, but he's not getting last hits, because Enzo, with the static link, is dominating the lane so far in CS.
It's not an easy lane for DK at all. I mean, that's part of why he really, really desperately wants the bottle, is so he can just sit back, use that flame breath, and try to get last hits that way. Meanwhile, Stay Free, I mean, they're just aggressively leveling these supports. They pull the 2 camps. They actually, they're just proceeding on with this, and Corey's going to be farming hard on the Weaver. This is a player who we've seen really do well, especially, I feel, in the MLG games. Like, he was the standout player in so many of those games.
Oh yeah, I absolutely agree. Meanwhile, for Stay Free in their offlane, Clockwork actually went for Rocket Flare first, so he's got his creep wave at his tower without even using cogs, and he's been blocking every single pull camp using Rocket Flare, and it looks like he's going to do so again. He blocks the pull camp over and over again, and he's hit level 2.5, level 3, because Revengers haven't done a good job of controlling the creep equilibrium.
Yeah. This is really excellent from Zai. I've mostly been seeing him playing mid lately in NEL, but this is excellent offlane clockwork. I mean, they assumed that he had blocked the camp. They were like, how the hell did he block camp? So they have the 2 wards. These are almost the perfect wards to actually counter ward this. Only problem is, there's nothing to counter ward.
Yeah, it was... it's just going to be that constant rocket flare, and now we can use the cogs as well to control the creep wave, which is what's going on here. So he's getting a ton out of this lane, and actually Abaddon decides, well, I'm going to go top now, because this Trilan, we're not going to zone out the clockwork. He's going to get some experience and farm up top with this lane, pushing out a little bit. They don't want Doom going top, because he can farm a lot faster in his own jungle.
That's really remarkable. I mean, hopefully Abaddon finds some levels, although it might not be the easiest time, since Stay Free have been doing a pretty immaculate job controlling the position of this lane by just constantly doing the dual pull, where you pull the one camp here and then pull the creeps over, or rather pull the camp here over. So, I don't know. If Abaddon finds levels, I think this could still pay off. Sure, you've sacrificed the lane against the Clockwork, who still has only used like 2 tangos in 3 minutes, and offlane Clockwork sometimes really struggles to hit any levels, so... Zai basically, I mean, I think it's safe to say Stay Free basically won the bottom lane, and now our For Sweet Revenge are just seeking to figure out how to manage that.
Yeah, it looks like they're doing exceedingly well on all 3 lanes. Razor's out farming the DK by a huge margin. 17 last hits, 10 denies to the 6 last hits, 0 denies of Smash. And then the safe lane, well, Corey's getting all the farm he needs. 24 CS. There's no real offlaner for Revenge getting much out of this lane either until now, where Abaddon comes in. But Abaddon's not like a offlane hero who's going to control the game at all. It's not like a Clockwork with level 6 can actually do a lot here. So Abaddon, not really the same case scenario. So I feel Stay Free are winning all 3 lanes.
Yeah, I agree. I think the best case scenario is just Abaddon gets some XP, the Doom continues leveling well in jungle, and you hope to do your best off of that. He does have Tornado, so he has a 3-stacked camp here. I think if he decides to go back to base and just Tornado this down, the Doom will at least have excellent levels. And maybe that'll be a skill tipper for Sweet Revenge, because they're not getting anything else out of this.
Yeah, he needs the mana, which right now he doesn't have. I mean, talk about that intelligence ball. It's absolutely dreadful. Maybe he goes for a bottle or just some fast arcane boots, but meanwhile, he does have to worry about Stay Free going for a fast tier 1 tower push.
For sure. I mean, they're up here at the tier 1. I honestly don't see any way to defend this. I think First Sweet Revenge doesn't even bother sending somebody here. Just let it go, because who's going to TP? I mean, Rubik will do almost nothing. Dragon Knight's behind. Doom has 0 HP and 0 mana.
Alright. Well, they make the best out of it by sending the Abaddon there just to leech experience, get a last hit or 2 if possible, but they need to be getting more out of these other lanes, which is your safe lane Gyrocopter, 31 CS, fast phase boots, but still giving away way too much to a Clockwork, and mid lane where Smash is also struggling, so it seems that there's a lot resting on this Doom shoulder. He actually suicided to neutrals. I think it was on purpose.
Definitely.
He would have. It looks like he spent all his. Well, he only had unreliable gold, so he actually. Yeah. I don't know if it would have been on purpose because he lost gold.
I think it was on purpose, simply to cut down the fountain time, which was worth the small amount of gold that he actually lost. It is a shame that he didn't manage to buy out. He seems to be rushing Midas, which it's very tough to buy out for that. I mean, he could have gotten the gloves, I guess. I'm not sure. I wasn't watching him, but either way, this isn't the worst thing because now he has that tornado mana.
Well, he's not going to go for that neutral camp kill just yet. Looks like he wants to stack it at least once more.
Yeah, probably.
I don't think he can stack it much more than that.
Yeah, I think he'll definitely just seek to stack it one more time and then tornado the whole thing down. Okay. That should give him his 6, and so I don't think this is 6 and Midas, so that's not nothing.
Well, neither team yet to take the first blood, despite what the top skill scoreboard, the kill scoreboard shows.
Yeah, it's just going to be. I mean, because of the relatively passive lane positioning with Arctic. I gotta stop doing this. With First Sweet Revenge sacrificing their hard lane and Stay Free, I mean, it's a Clockwork. He's not going to get kills, but he is doing amazingly in terms of finding levels. Yeah. Level 6.
He's got level 6, so he could almost go for a kill here. Maybe not on the Gyrocopter because he's got cooldown, but if he wants to rotate out of the lane.
Yeah, I think he could. Yeah, if they get better vision, like if they send their supports out, PPD, who actually is level 5 himself, like check out this Elder Titan is also out leveling the Doom, the Abaddon, and certainly the Rubik. So pretty soon, I think they can start making incursions into the jungle. And Jungle Doom is pretty vulnerable. He has no armor items. He didn't even bother going for the early Ring of Protection. So he's going to be extremely gankable.
Yeah, he's doing his little jungle dance here. The tornado ends. He doesn't even kill off this complete camp. Also missed that last stack, so... Fortunately for him, he is going to have this Midas, but I'm not a big fan of the Doom rushing Midas. I feel going for the utility items, the phase drums, even arcane boots into a mech or whatever it may be, offers a lot more.
Certainly. Zai blocking off. They had a chance maybe at a kill there if Smash had been able to land the stun before the cogs, but instead, well-placed cogs, and this clockwork is still... I mean, it's funny because it feels like he hasn't done much of anything, but just the fact that what we were pointing out with the very, very good offlane play has secured a fairly substantial XP advantage. 3k at 7 minutes with only 1 kill is just a much bigger advantage than you usually see.
Yeah. 3k golden XP. There's no kills, in fact. That 1 kill is just a Doom suicide.
Right, true.
We may get a first blood here at mid lane. Looks like Crystalmain has rotated in looking for Smash here, but the stun is going to prevent Razor from getting any right clicks off. With a couple clicks right there, he would have had probably a kill in the DK, but
Yeah.
not going to happen.
That was quite an excellent stun, honestly. Very well timed from Smash. He didn't even have the ultimate because he had attempted to use it to catch out the clockwork, but manages to get the stun, get out of there. And now Peter Pandam, actually. PPD putting some pressure on the middle of his own, trying to get those levels with Elder Titan. I wonder if he'll actually go for a splitter at level 6. Yeah, I suppose he will.
When I saw Na'Vi run as a support, they still picked it up at level 6.
Yeah.
The solo mid Elder Titan, most of the time you don't get it till level 9, or even
Right.
sometimes later than that if you want to go stomp at level 9.
Yeah. It's interesting he's also decided to prioritize Astral Spirit over Natural Order. I see players going both ways.
Yep.
I think in this game, maybe it's better to just get extra ranks in the Spirit just for the more AoE damage, more ability to just blow out the other team.
Well, both teams playing very safe for the time being, but this is definitely favoring Stay Free. They've gone for the fast Midas on Weaver. He's got Midas treads already. Looks like he's used his Midas like multiple times already. And he's going to go back into the jungle, use it again. So the farm for Stay Free is very impressive in all 3 lanes.
For sure, and also, I feel Force Revenge are really struggling to get support levels as well. For Stay Free, they won't feel too sad about this level 4 Crystal Maiden. There's the hook shot from Clockwork, actually jumping in on Iwo. Doesn't trap him just yet, Telekinesis, the call down. Clockwork actually goes down, even though they do land the push onto Iwo, is fairly low, but PPD can't possibly kill him with melees. Overall, a pretty nice kill and good control, although Abaddon, Mystico gets himself in a lot of trouble up top. Actually gets dropped single-handedly by Corey's Weaver, who also went Midas, so...
That was... That Clockwork initiation, the rocket was just about to hit him, and then he hooked in without, like, his support backup. They don't have the mobility that Clockwork has. I'm not sure what he was trying to do there, hooking into the gyrocopter.
Yeah, I think it was just an attempt at Wodota. Like, the homing missile is about to hit. Instead of just letting it stun me, I'm going to try to make a big play, but maybe the rest of the team wasn't on the same page, because they were slow to come in.
Okay. Well, Stay Free give up a kill on the Clockwork, but that's probably one of the heroes that's most expendable for them. As far as their 3 core heroes, it definitely is. And Weaver getting a kill at top lane, definitely worthwhile for Stay Free. Although it was a first blood kill, I believe, on the gyrocopter. Yeah, gyrocopter gets first blood there, so that's a big chunk of gold going his way.
Yeah, I think it's definitely good for Sweet Revenge to be able to get that first blood, but the fact is that the Weaver is substantially ahead because he has picked up Midas. He's 73 for 21, so they're about at the same farm level, but Weaver's going to leap ahead after about 10 or 12 more minutes. Whereas for Sweet Revenge, my issue is that you could catch Gyro up and actually exceed by just stacking the jungle and clearing it out with the Gyro, but my concern is just that where are the supports going to find levels? Where are Abaddon and Rubik actually going to...
They've gone in on Smash here. They're looking for a kill, and it looks like they'll get it with ease. The stun coming in, but it's a bit too late. The Cog actual damage, getting the kill in the end as DK Smash gets brought down. Smash is not having a good start to this game.
Yeah, he's really not. He has gotten some last hits, but he's suffering in comparison to Enzo. DK Razor is a tough lane at the best of times, and he's just been really punished.
Yeah, and while all this is going on, Stay Free getting a ton of farm on Corey at the top lane. There's just no one who can really kill him until Doom starts coming in and using that ultimate to actually kill him off. But it doesn't look like Doom wants to leave this jungle for the time being.
Yeah, he actually came top while Abaddon was fighting Weaver, but he didn't use the Doom. I think he actually went in for it, but Shukachi was just in time to actually completely dodge the effect. So if he had landed it there, at least they would have gotten a kill on Weaver. Yeah, I'm looking to Doom to actually make a difference here. I think Gyro's doing fine, but is not going to be able to single-handedly carry this. It really has to be Mihawk's Doom as the scales tipper in these fights, because, I mean, Smash at this point, it's going to take a while for this Dragon Knight to matter at all.
Yeah, this Dragon Knight seems like he's going to be more like a frontline tank. He'd go straight for the BKB, I imagine. Maybe getting a drums or something along the way, but I don't see him being able to go for the fast Shadow Blade to set up kills this game.
Yeah, and meanwhile, you just have Iwo clearing up the jungle again and again, and I think they should... At least Abaddon is actually almost about to hit levels for Borrowed Time. Most likely going to skill that up. No, so this is something I've been seeing lately, is the not skilling borrowed time. Meanwhile, Mihawk, in a world of trouble up top, Corey actually is very deep here. He has to be careful, manages to Shokuchi away and bring Mihawk quite low, while not actually putting himself in threat. Looks like Doom's just going to go mech. Meanwhile, hookshot
Look
on
at bottom
Idol
lane, they
bottom.
want to go on Ewo. Ewo going to get caught out here in the cogs. The Elder Titan ultimate doing more than enough damage. It's actually Trout who gets the last hit with a Frostbite as well. And Stay Free find another kill here, and an important kill at that on the carry Gyrocopter.
Yeah, just as he was about to, I feel, ramp, because he had gone for ramping items, he went for the Helm of the Dominator rather than trying to leap ahead to Drums or BKB. So all this lost time is just critical for... Yeah, again, it's got to be Doom, and Doom hasn't done anything yet.
Smash being forced back here. He may pay for this. They've actually TP'd in the Weaver as well. Smash, the shield, the miscalls aren't going to be enough to save his life. Weaver gets double kill, maybe even getting a third here. It looks like Rubik going to be brought down by the Beal. It's actually Razor getting the last hit and Stay Free with 3 kills in the middle lane. Revenge are in a lot of trouble this game, it looks like.
Yeah, Revenge don't have the maneuverability to deal with this lineup right now. Stay Free are substantially ahead. They've got this Weaver who moves at essentially maximum speed whenever he wants to. They have a Razor with Phase Boots drums, and you're attempting to run from them with, a Dragon Knight who doesn't have his Elder Dragon form. It's on cooldown. A Rubik who's one of the lower base movement speed heroes of the game and only has Boots of Speed, and Abaddon. There's just no way to get away, and so Stay Free abused that in that fight, along with a great hookshot from Zai.
Yeah, Stay Free are the one in firm control all of a sudden. They're starting to take down outer towers as well. The tier 1 at both top lane as well as middle lane being brought down, and now we see some big item pickups coming soon. The Weaver almost completed a Lincoln Sphere. You've got even the supports getting items. You earn on the Elder Titan CM, sitting on 1k gold, but the core heroes is where it really shows. Enzo with a phase drums and point booster. He is really tanky. And then you've got your Clockwork, Phase Boots, 800 gold on top. These heroes are just far out farming Revenge.
Yeah, I just think that the Lincolns for Corey, especially how early it's coming, I mean, he could have this within 17, 18 minutes, and all of a sudden Doom doesn't seem so important anymore. There's the hook shot.
Hook in, there's your cooldown. It looks like Revenge. They want to try and fight this one. And Zai actually going to pay the price for this, and they don't deny the tower or anything.
Yeah, that was a pretty enthusiastic hook shot. There was no one there, except maybe PPD.
Well, I think that was just getting a bit too overzealous there, trying to defend that tower when there was little that Stay Free could do. They defended it the last time with the TPs in and using their glyph, but right there they had glyph on cooldown, no way of actually going in, and anyone else actually supporting the Clockwork. I don't think that was something they really want to fight.
No, I think it's, again, Zai, I think he had such an good early game, and he's so happy about it that he's almost displaying some irrational exuberance, because that's not the first time he's hook-shotted in with little to no hope of actually making anything happen. And he still had a great game, even considering these small mistakes, so I think it's okay.
Yeah. Oh no, he did fantastic in the offlane, getting a lot of experience and farm out of a lane where he shouldn't have. So, as it stands, Stay Free. They've taken all 3 out of tier 1 towers. They're starting to get a couple more items coming up. They can go for Roshan early if they really want to, although they don't have the best Roshan lineup. But they're going to opt to smoke gank here. So they bring the 2 supports to CM the Elder Titan with the Clockwork. We'll be looking to group up with the Razor at bottom lane, try and find a kill, and possibly even start working away on some of these tier 2 towers.
Right. Whereas for First Sweet Revenge, they basically just have to slow the game down, get BKB up on Gyrocopter. He's a decent ways there. He's 1,800 gold, so he has the Mithril Hammer if he wants it. And of course, Doom. I keep talking about him, but just Mihawk has not made things happen. He's almost level 9. He has Mechanism and 500 gold. And yet, it just doesn't seem very persuasive. They actually attempt a gank on Weaver. Not even really close. They place a sentry to no effect, essentially. And again, Doom isn't there. If Doom is there...
And meanwhile, they kill the Gyrocopter mid lane. It looks like that was the smoke gank with the Clockwork hookshot succeeding. And
I don't know, gods. I think First Revenge are almost out already. Stay Free have basically seized this game by the horns right from the beginning. I almost think that they should have... I mean, hindsight is 20/20, but maybe the aggressive trial line at least gives them a shot at not suffering early game. In retrospect, like, Doom's jungle was not that fast, and he went Midas first, and the mid lane was never going to be easy. Like, it was always going to be a pain in the ass.
yeah, I feel that Doom going for the Midas will really set them behind. If Doom had just gone for a much more early game fight-centric lineup, it would have worked a lot better, and then started smoke ganking with the Rubik, because they could have gone for some early kills on Rubik. During that first, as soon as Doom hits level 6, you smoke up, catch him out from behind with a Sentry Ward and a Telekinesis, get the Doom down. You get a kill on that Weaver, but He's just spent way too much time in the jungle trying to farm and get these big items up.
Yeah, and I really do think the Midas was a little bit iffy. Like, what about phase Shadowblade? Your objective early on is to kill the Weaver.
Yeah.
Shadowblade Doom is amazing at killing Weavers, because Weaver doesn't know when you're going to cast the Doom on him, he can't Shokuchi in response. Hold him off that Lincoln Sphere. Instead, Mihawk, I mean, sure he has Midas, but all he's gotten so far from it is Mechanism, which you can get without a Midas. You don't need a Midas to do that.
Yeah, I think if he got like the arcane boots for his team before the Midas even, like
Right.
that's going to help out some of his mana problems, help his team out, and also just allow him to gank before he even has the mech. You get just an arcane boots, and suddenly you've got the mana pool you need to gank with the Scorched Earth, level death, as well as having Doom mana. So I'm just, yeah, I don't think this was the best Doom build, but I think there's other, like apart from the Doom and his item choices, it feels like
Yeah.
Stay Free just won all 3 lanes, so it wasn't even,
They really
even
did.
problems isolated to the Doom pick and play.
Right. Now, I mean, for what it's worth, there's not
Radiant's
too
top
many
tower
things
is
you could do
under
against a
attack.
Clockwork blocking your camps with Flare. It's really just kill the Clockwork.
Yeah.
So perhaps they could have gone more aggressively very early to try to kill Zai and just take him out of the picture
They
completely.
pushed the lane really, like he got level
They
2.5, like that was just without any like lane control, and that was
Absolutely.
that was without the cogs being used. So I think that was where the problem started for Revenge almost.
I agree with you. And Stay Free now just seeking to choke out for Sweet Revenge, basically. And it should be pretty easy to do with a Weaver who's 3 levels ahead. He now has Lincoln Sphere, so you basically have to send 2 or 3 people to even attempt to gank on him. Iwo is still struggling. He's making his way towards BKB. Problem with going BKB, I mean, it is the first item choice for Gyrocopter, but it's not enough. It's kind of... It doesn't help your farm, so it's not like Battle Fury and Anti-Mage, but it's the same in that once you have the BKB, you're not set. Like, you're not actually useful yet. You just avoid
Yeah.
dying.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I guess if your team's winning, you can come to fights and apply a lot of pressure just by having cooldown. But
Sure.
this is a game where you're playing from behind, so
Radiant's middle tower.
top
is
lane.
under
It looks
attack.
like our Revenge will try to pressure this T1 tower. I'm not too sure about this one. Corey's there with a Lincoln Sphere, immediately gets popped by the Dragon Tail, and all of a sudden this Dragon Knight is out of mana.
Yeah. I wonder... Yeah, I think they meant to pop it with Mist Coil and land the Dragon Stone, and instead the exact opposite happened. They popped it with the Dragon Stone, the Mist Coil hit, which is useless just when you're trying to kill Weaver.
I think
Hook
Revenge
shot
have to be
is big
very
prep.
careful overstaying here, because one hook shot, if Stay Free want to bring in 4 or 5 heroes, they win this team fight with their item
agree.
advantage.
Yeah. Meanwhile, they're actually split pushing, so Enzo and Tralf doing a bit of damage to this tier 2. In fact, taking it to about a third. Uh-oh. Mysticos. Gotta be very careful. Corey's just keeping an eye on him. Setting up the Zai hookshot. No, I think Creeps will block it. Yeah, Baden should be fine. He's got borrowed time.
Well, he's
Oh,
not,
no,
no, he
does-
hasn't.
Yes.
I don't like this Abaddon not getting ulti. I'm not sure what that's all about.
I've seen it before. Sometimes it's... If you're only participating in team fights, you can try to almost use it psychologically, but it's not really working here. Like,
Yeah, it seems like an entirely psychological thing. Speaking of, heroes going down, so Doom getting picked off mid lane. The Doom actually gets used on the CM, but CM's going to easily shrug this off. But, hook shot at mid. It actually misses the Rubik. Instead catches out the Gyrocopter. He was aiming for the Rubik, found an even better target perhaps.
Yeah.
He were going to be brought down with the Razor coming in as well. Double kill for Enzo.
yeah.
Yikes.
It's kind of like a situation like, oh, yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Thought I was just going to get a support kill, but I'll take out your number 1 that's desperately farming for BKB instead. Should be alright. And honestly, with the Ags Rush Razor, they pretty much have this in the bag, because they also have a push that I'm not sure if
Yeah.
Sweet Revenge can answer.
I feel like the big problem with the Abaddon not getting ulti is what sets him apart from like other healing type supports like an Omni Knight is the fact that you can't focus him down first in a fight, which comes from
Right.
your ulti. So not getting ulti just seems to like negate the very reason you picked this hero.
I just feel it's a very high risk play in the sense that if the other team doesn't notice, which actually does happen. I mean, we saw
Yeah.
a professional game where he didn't take borrowed time. I think it was Quantic, and nobody focused him. But as soon as they know you don't have borrowed time, that's it. Better level it soon, buddy.
Yes, yeah, exactly. It's like, I guess like you say, it's very psychological. If your opponents don't know it's coming, then you can do a lot of work with it. But Stay Free right now, with or without borrowed time, it's not going to matter. There's a Rubik hooking into the enemy team on his own. What are you thinking here? Doom's coming in, but he hasn't actually got a Doom. He's got a mech here. Not going to bring down Zai. Zai on the Clockwork can actually survive this one. Corey doing a ton of work. He's already got 1 kill on the Rubik. He's looking maybe for more. Meanwhile, while all this is going on, it was the Razor pushing a tier 2 bottom tower with that Aghanim Scepter upgrade on his ultimate, and Stay Free just walking all over for Sweet Revenge.
Yeah, I am pretty gobsmacked that Clockwork didn't die there. Of course, Magic Wand charge is pretty strong. That's in the end. That's that and the urn from Elder Titan is the only things that keep him up. But still, I mean, hey, if you get a kill from it, why the hell not? Now they have two heroes that are both 3 or more levels ahead of what For Sweet Revenge are packing. The Gyrocopter still doesn't have his BKB. He's not even especially close. He still needs the Ogre Club, basically. So, I don't know. What do For Sweet Revenge even do?
They're really hoping here for Stay Free just to get too overly aggressive, I imagine. But Stay
Sure.
Free have already got these really tanky items up in here. Even your Crystal Maiden sitting on like 1k plus HP with a Planewalker's Cloak to negate a lot of this magic damage. So Treads,
Yeah.
Bracer, Wand, all these heroes just all tanky.
Planeswalker's Cloak, eh, gods? Good stuff. Good Dota one.
What's it actually called?
Just Cloak.
Just Cloak. Who calls... That's such a boring name.
It's a pretty boring name. Well, in Han, it's called something else. I just don't remember what. Somebody in chat will inform us.
Planewalker's Cloak trademarked by Blizzard.
See, it shouldn't be, but I'm pretty sure it's actually trademarked by Wizards of the Coast because it's a Magic the Gathering thing.
Ah.
So that might be the only thing that in Dota got renamed not because Blizzard got mad about it.
It was, yeah, it's like you say, it's a Magic the Gathering thing, but Dota could use it because it wasn't like a Blizzard game. Like it was on Warcraft 3.
Yeah. I don't
Warcraft
know.
3
Maybe they
Dota
just didn't feel that Planeswalkers are appropriate to the new world of Dota.
Perhaps.
Looks like Stay Free might just go into Roche. And honestly, why the hell not?
Yeah.
Every outer tower is down except for the tier 2 mid. I don't see For Sweet Revenge being able to... Look how much they've warded in this purely, like, turtle shell. It actually is even shaped like a turtle shell. Like, I'll draw a little face. That's the worst turtle I've ever seen in my
Where's the
life.
head popping out? And
I don't know, man. At any rate, it's going to probably be a free Roche to Stay Free. Because the lack of vision, the lack of mobility is just taking its toll.
Yeah.
Even just the Dragon Knight pick. I really like to see Smash on stuff that, like, heroes that do a little more.
Well, Safer, I imagine, will not be leaving Revenge in their misery for too much longer. They're actually working on a straight refresher on the Razor, so he's going to have an Aghanim's refresher at something like 26, 27 minutes into the game, perhaps.
That's
is-
horrible.
That is a scary amount of farm here. His net worth is ridiculous, as is the Weaver's. Weaver already with Lincoln's Deso, plus Treads and Midas at 23.5 minutes.
Yeah, it's that early Midas. This early Midas Weaver is something we're seeing more and more. In the era of we won't bother fighting your safe lane at all, I really feel like it's almost like the best, like, Nash Equilibrium play. We do see a Doom getting thrown out on Zai, but Clockwork can just walk away. Tralf,
They don't
stunned by
even got the
Smash
damage
and
here.
run.
Tralf is there as well, and they're just going to turn this one around. Here's Enzo. TP out from Mihawk gets cancelled by a CM ulti. It's the Dragon Knight who will TP out. Doom's still on the Clockwork, so they won't
Wow.
get that kill.
It's just funny. The Clockwork is like the Doom puts the Doom on Clock, chases him for a little bit, and it's like that scene in Memento. Like, oh, I'm chasing this Clockwork. No, he's chasing me with Doom on him.
Oh, this is just getting really ugly. Revenge also, I think a lot of this neutral ancient stack of theirs was getting chewed away as well. Hookshot in the middle lane. Clockwork not actually, well, Rubik was nowhere nearby.
For farm.
He wants to farm, yeah. They were stealing the Ancients earlier. I think they actually stopped doing that to kill the Abaddon there. The Weaver is gonna leave some for the Gyrocopter. This Gyrocopter, BKB is completed, but like you said earlier, this is just like a gateway item. This is not really this all he needs. He needs a lot more than this.
BKB it's certainly nice, although it won't stop him from getting hookshotted. I think he's okay, probably.
He's gonna TP out just, but the tower gets denied now, and
Tower has been denied.
Mechanism, pretty late for PPD, but it's up now, and with Mechanism, Aegis, Aghanims for Razor, is Refresher actually completed? No, he still needs the Perseverance, but he's very close. I don't see anything at all stopping Stay Free from just marching up and taking it. It's going to have to be just astonishing coordination from For Sweet Revenge, like, on levels heretofore unseen.
Envoys are ready to breach the high ground, it looks like. Even the mech hasn't actually flown out just yet. The Razor is still about 1,200 away from his refresher orb, but it looks like without these items, they're still happy to try and push and breach the high ground. They've got a level 3 Razor ultimate, and this tower is going to melt. Minus armor from the Desolator. The Razor ultimate is doing damage as well. Easy Raxus taking a fall.
As long as Stay Free timed the fortification, they'd rather just do this rather than wait for a time which they have more items, but Fort is up. And I mean, with the DD rune also available for Razor, Smash uses his DK ultimate and then thinks better of it, because what's he gonna do?
Yeah. I don't think there's any way Revenge can defend this. They've got 1 BKB on Gyrocopter. Dragon Knight getting close to his, just 200 away. Maybe he just sells his bottle now so he can have one last stand and take a fight here with double BKB. But even with double BKB, they just flat out lose. You've got the Elder Titan with a maxed out natural order. These heroes, even in BKB form will just take so much physical damage from Razor and Weaver. BKBs do not counter these heroes at all.
Not really. I mean, it's useful, certainly. You don't want to get hit by Elder Titan or Crystal Maiden or some of the other damage, but just the presence of Hookshot. I believe partial Eye of the Storm partially pierces as well. Yeah, it's physical damage. So, it really just, against the heroes you actually need to counter, it does nothing. It just does good against the supports.
Well, it looks like Safri are trying to go into this middle ground now as well, they've got the bottom Rakdos. They want to try and seal the deal here. Razor not with them just yet. He's what's he doing? He's off farming his refresher. He's now got Aghanim's refresher. 35 seconds before he's got his ultimate again. The Hookshot going to come in. Mihawk now. Hook, 4-star out immediately. Elder Titan, I think that was a stolen ultimate?
Stolen.
Yeah, Rubik stole the Earth Sphere, throws it back. Corey's doomed up here, but he's got the Aegis, so he's happy to fight regardless. Being nuked down by the Abaddon Mistcall, and in goes the Dragon. He's got the BKB, trying to go on the Razor here. Razor does not have an Aegis, and it looks like Stay Free are going to be pushed back. The double BKBs may be doing enough here. Crystal Maiden gets stunned up by a Dragon Tail, although Smash, he's on the run already. Clockwork finds him with a battery assault at Cogs, and Smash has got nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Trapped in the Cogs and brought down. Even without Razor here with his double ultimate, it looks like we're going to see Stay Free breach the high ground and get maybe a second lane of Rakdos, at least a tier 3 tower coming their way.
No buyback is available. They do still have the BKB on Gyros, so that was patient play from Iwo, not using it if he didn't strictly need it. So they do chase them off. I mean, Doom trying to make Quiris at this point. How close is he? He's pretty close. Does he have the recipe? No, but he's only about 1,000 off from making the Assault Quiris. That'll help him a tiny bit.
Yeah.
It does actually block some damage from the Eye of the Storm, because it's physical, and some damage from that Weaver, who's just been... He just, like, 4-shots some of these smaller heroes. We haven't seen much from the Rubik. This is one of Mystico's key heroes, so I'm surprised that he's on the Abaddon and Inside is on the Rubik and not vice versa.
Yeah, that's a good point. I feel like, yeah, it's definitely a hero that... Abaddon, not really a hero that can make that many plays. He just... Abaddon, I haven't seen anything from him, but that's kind of what you expect from the hero. He just sits back and keeps core heroes alive. But Rubik is a support where you can actually make plays happen.
Do you see this?
Yeah. He's pointing the way.
Good stuff. I mean, they... Honestly, Stay Free, considering they apparently, according to lobby chat, heard about this tournament for the first time 2 hours ago. It's a pretty good showing.
They weren't aware about the ES Prime Dota 2 Cup until suddenly a last-minute replacement was needed for Dignitas. And I think these guys, I mean, knowing the organizers, obviously, the event sponsored by IXDL as well as the NEL, was like, well, let's bring in some North American talent. These guys play in the NEL all the time, and this is a legitimate team.
They do. I mean, these are pretty high-ranked guys. Zai was, I think, I don't know where he is now, but for a bit he was like 3rd or 4th on the NEL ladder. PPD, of course, plays a ton of NEL. Yeah, no, I don't know. I think Stay Free are a really promising North American team. They only switched over from Heroes of the New Earth, I don't know, a few months ago.
Yes, I'm already showing a lot of promise, it feels like.
Yeah. I mean, Han is the current champion of Dota, because Ake and Loda, pretty big heroes of the New Earth. I don't think that's...
No, I would disagree there. Those guys started with Dota 1, though.
Yeah, I know.
Those guys are Dota players, like, at their core. They're not... Fnatic, like, I would say the Fnatic players are a true former Hon team, but...
Yeah, fair enough.
Like, Loda is known for, like, being a Dota legend, not for being a Hon legend.
That's certainly true. Trowel gets really fun out. So this is a free kill on Crystal Maiden. I mean, 30 minutes, 4 kills for First Sweet Revenge.
Yeah.
That's the first time anyone not named Clockwork has died. Oh no, Razor had that one death.
Yeah. That was a very unfriendly place for the Crystal Maiden to be in. The poor Maiden.
Yeah.
No longer a Maiden after that.
Wow. We got the Quiris done for Doom. So that's not bad. The armor is really, really critical for them, as well as the de-armor effect. But they're still down a lane.
Yeah, he's got a decent amount of farm here. It's up there with the Gyrocopter as far as net worth. But this is your jungle Doom. I feel like he hasn't actually had... He's 0-3-0, so he's had no real relevance in this game until this point.
Yeah, I mean, they've really struggled to just get any of these heroes that they had this idea that they have a fairly tanky composition, and so they'd be able to sort of neutralize the Weaver's damage in early to mid game, but we're way past that. I mean, this is an end game loadout Weaver now with Linken's BKB Desolator.
Yeah.
Honestly, pretty close to
his
next item.
Like, not trying to push the high ground at this point. They seem to be waiting maybe for the next Roshan, but they're happy with the 1-Rax advantage and want to play this safe. But for the time being, I don't see what's standing in their way just pushing the high ground. They don't actually have to take a fight. They just have to chip away at this tower using the Razor Aghs double ulti and the Weaver with the Desolator right click. There's not really much danger of pushing.
Then again, it is best of one. They don't
Yeah.
want to make a mistake that costs them the entire
That's
tournament, right? So they might as well, since it's not terrifically likely that First Sweet Revenge can take a Roche off of them unless they get some sort of like very lucky position. They'd rather just get the cheese on Razor or at least a BKB on Razor, so he can literally just sit there and have the entire base melt before him.
Yeah.
Also, an underappreciated aspect of Ag's Refresher Razor is that you can, if not induce epilepsy, at least make it very hard for the other team to see what the hell's going on. It's so bright.
It's something that needs to be toned down a bit. Also
really
some
is
people said
ridiculous.
needs to be toned up, but
Yeah, either down or up. Either add a dubstep soundtrack or change the visuals.
yeah. It's like
Either way, I
peop-
think it's just that nobody expected anybody to ever go Refresher.
Yes.
So the graphics aren't tuned. They're not balanced for lean, as it were.
I remember there was a Sandstorm mod for playing Sand King. Whenever you cast Sandstorm, they
Yes.
replace the
Have you
sound.
seen the DMX Shadow Fiend mod?
The Shadow Fiend mod. What's that?
It's it just plays things from DMX's rap songs. Smashes and Treble Top.
Nice. Yeah, Smash is actually use his BKB to try and survive this one, but he's got no TP, and Weaver with more than enough damage to get out of here, maybe. Smash narrowly surviving this on 100 HP.
I think if you're stay free, you're completely fine with forcing a 9-second charge of BKB for essentially no commitment. Because Clockwork is done with Aghanims. That's a whopping 12-second cooldown.
Yikes. And Razor's bought something here. What's he actually used his gold on? It looks like he picked up another Mithril Hammer, so this will be the BKB you talked about. And it looks like they're not in no rush here. They're not even trying to force the issue just yet. They're trying to maybe get these next couple of items up. And Roshan, well, Aegis will be on their side very shortly.
Yeah, and I think for Sweet Revenge, will probably feel like they can't afford to give up the third Roshan, but I'm not sure they have much of a choice, because how could they possibly stop it? But it's certainly going to be extremely difficult fighting essentially 5v7 against a team whose collective net worth is 20k ahead of yours.
Yeah, oh wow. 20k gold difference between the two teams. The experience graph just as ugly as well. Stay free, complete control. They're going to get Aegis, it looks like. No cheese until the next Roshan, but with Aegis on the Weaver, maybe they're still waiting for Enzo's BKB on the Razor, but I'd be surprised if they don't go mid lane with this Aegis of theirs.
Oh yeah, I can't imagine. At this point, it would just be kind of plucky to not bother taking Aegis after this.
There's a couple buybacks on the Radiant team, it looks like. The Gyrocopter and Dragon... Oh, Gyrocopter, Dragonite, Doom. So the three kind of core heroes all having it, but... it's still not going to be... I don't think it'd still be enough.
In fairness, I mean, they farmed very well. The fact that I was holding down 432 GPM when they're behind as much as they are it's really pretty impressive. And he stayed fairly safe. 3 deaths. Is that the lowest on his team? Oh, well, everybody's about the same. So I think he's done okay. It's just that Stay Free has done very, very much more than okay with a level 20 Weaver.
Yeah, the Weaver, Razor, both just getting absolutely massive here. Enzo, BKB not quite up. He's still about, it looks like 1k gold away from it. But hey, they're going to push and try to take this top lane instead. They're going top, not mid. I guess deciding it's further away from that bottom lane, and pushing side lane's always a bit easier than pushing the middle lane. There's fewer, fewer ways for your opponents to engage. You only have to worry about them coming either head on or from the right side, pushing mid. They can come in from so many different directions.
Yeah. And here we go. The high ground attempt is going to commence pretty soon. Corey just sitting as far back as he can to not take too much damage. Actually, it still takes some. But just look at how much they chunk this Gyrocopter. Poor Iwo. He doesn't want to pop BKB if at all possible, but he's almost getting pressured into doing so. They're trying to draw it out.
Yeah. They'll just keep on chipping at the tower, it looks like. They get 400 damage done there, and they'll probably just go again to the high ground here. Razor maybe, yeah, it looks like, there we go. Double ulti coming in from Enzo. This tower just melting. Liv has to be used, but more importantly, Revenge have to engage. They get Doom stunned up at the backgrounds here, and, well, Revenge, can they find a way to go in? It doesn't look like it just yet. Oh, hookshot over on the sides. Who's this? Found the Rubik. The support Rubik needs to throw the Clockwork out of that. Doesn't matter. He goes down anyways. The Elder Titan getting the kill. Meanwhile, it's Enzo in the with the double ultimate up. Rubik actually going to buy back. Tower gets denied. Stay free. Well, they get a kill. They get a tower. They force a buyback, and now they can just, well, wait to go in the high ground again.
The wait for probably the next Razor ultimate, I suppose. Maybe not. Nice Force Staff.
Yeah. It looks like they'll bring down Smash here. Smash, the BKB is there. He needs to use it. Maybe he's just waiting to respawn. Doom Eldertine gets a double kill with the ultimate. The Earthsplit killing off the Doom and Dragonite. Both heroes with buybacks. They'll immediately TP in. They want to try and take this fight. They've got to try and protect these Raxes, but Clockwork is just getting four-staffed away. The double, triple four-staff saving his life, and all of a sudden Revenge have used their BKBs, but they're not actually killing anyone. The Dragonite and Gyrocopter just can't latch on to anything here, and Dragonite, BKB worn out. He's been frostbitten. He's been brought down. Hook shot back up. It's going to catch up Mystico, and Revenge just fall one by one. The Doom, the only one left standing, or Doom as well as Gyrocopter left standing. Doom takes a fall. Gyrocopter going to watch the Raxes go down, and Stay Free have taken this best of one. They advance to the semifinals.
They've taken it extremely convincingly. I mean, just to be completely frank, I really like For Sweet Revenge as a team. I think they're underrated, but every single player of theirs got outclassed by every corresponding player on Stay Free. Like, this was just a completely dominant game from minute 1 to the end. There were very little spots in which Stay Free looked anything less than completely in control. And just basically the end was that perfect Earth Splitter from the side by PPD. Just immediately taking out 2, forcing out the buybacks that... I mean, it basically changed it from 5v5 with optional defensive buybacks to 5v5 with no buybacks and 1 shot of BKB each. And
yeah, I feel like there were a few things Revenge could have done better with their draft. Like, Clockwork should have been kept level 1 for like the first 5 to 10 minutes. When you go Rocket Flare, sure, you're stopping your opponents from pulling, but you should be... Clockwork should not be getting any experience out of the lane, but for the most part, I think Revenge got caught a bit by surprise. Like, the last pick, Razor dominating the mid lane 1v1 matchup, Doom going for a greedy sort of build in the jungle, and as a result, well, Revenge take a fall, and they did put up an okay showing here, but unfortunately, best of one, single eliminations, Stay Free be our third team in the semifinals, joining Fnatic as well as Speed Gaming. Our last semifinal spot is going to be decided by our last best of one, which is going to be EG versus Key D, the Brazilian team, and that's going to be coming up next. So, Vic, any last thoughts on this game here?
I have no more thoughts. I have to go turn the lights on in my apartment because it's getting late, and I didn't realize that until Razor's ultimates lit up my entire house. So I'll be right back.
No problem. Thanks for joining me for the series. Vic will be joining me for the next 2 as well. If you like his casting, let him know. He's twitter.com/Vicramon. I myself am Gods. You can find me, twitter.com/BTSGods. But we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, our last best of one quarterfinals can be underway. It's not our last game of today. We have the best of 3 semifinal as well between, well, it's going to be Stay Free up against the winner of Evil Geniuses and Key D. So EG are up next, possibly a best of 1 as well as a best of 3 with them. So stay tuned, everybody. We'll be back shortly.